Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. And I am here to do my review of Inmate to Roommate, Season 1, Episode 3. Can't do this anymore, or no more, or whatever. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop boop.
auntie that
You can't make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. I am hoping that you all can hear me. This is Auntie, and if this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. To all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. We are one of the best kept secrets on the YT. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of Inmate to Roommate, Season 1, Episode 3, I probably would rate this episode a C. Y'all let me know down in them comment sections what y'all will rate this episode of Inmate to Roommate. This thing is getting crazy, y'all. And it's getting crazy for all the wrong reasons, because I am in some ways starting to feel a little sorry for some of these inmates. Who thought that I would be saying that? I don't know if you all are feeling the same thing, but I'm feeling a little sorry for some of these inmates. I think that they are going into some unstable environments, and I'm a little afraid for the inmates. It's almost like some of them have gotten set up, in my opinion. If you agree with me, let me know down in the comment section what inmate you are scared for. Like, is it Bill? Is it DQ? Is it Javon? Let me know down in the comment section if you feel sorry for some of these inmates in the environment that they are finding themselves going into. It's just so weird. It's just a total different spin on the show. But anyway, let's get started. So the first couple I want to talk about is Cal and Sandra. Cal and Sandra are on their way to go and pick up, is his name Nick? They're going to pick up Nick from prison. Now, when we met them last week, he indicated that he was invested in him because he had a relationship with his daddy. His daddy had taught him how to fish and all of that kind of stuff. And so, they developed a relationship with one another. And so the two of them stop and go and get something to eat, because they've got a long ride. And she begins to talk about, bringing this guy in the house. Now, when we met them last week, she was indicating that she really wasn't all that cool in the gang on bringing him into the household anyway. But Cal was like, okay, I got you. We got this, whoop, whoop, whoop. I really feel like I need to do this. Everything's going to be okay. And so, and of course, he's doing this because the young man's father passed away. And so he feels like, he's, has an obligation, if you will, a heart obligation to take care of him on behalf of his dad. And according to Cal, he had already burnt some relationships and some bridges, and so with his own family, so he's gonna take them in. So when the two of them went out to dinner, Sandra and Cal, they started talking about the situation with him and talking about his charges and stuff like that, and his drug abuse. And so she was like, look, let me tell you, I had my ex, a previous boyfriend that I was in a relationship with, and he was on drugs and was saying that he was going to clean himself up, and he did not, and as a result he is no longer in the land of the living. So she was saying that she knows the signs of a drug addicted person. She knows when they're an addict, when they're not an addict, all that kind of stuff. And so she was telling Cal, I need you to relax and I need you to be open to me when I begin to tell you about what I may be seeing. If he is on, she said, if he's using drugs or anything like that, I'm going to know it because I know what drug addicts do. And so she's like, so I need you to be open. So he was like, okay, I'm going to be open. It's a one strike rule. He messes up one time, he's gone. So she told him, she said, look, I'm going to tell you, if he is caught messing up, he needs to move out the house. And if you are unwilling to use this one strike rule as you are promising, I'm moving out. And so Kyle is like, you ain't got to worry about it, woo. So they go, in the car and they drive to go and pick him up and everything. They greet him, at the jail when he comes out with his box. It's a warm hug and all of that kind of stuff, but I don't think it's going to last long. Based on the previews from next week, which I will not be giving that spoiler, it does not seem like it is going to even last in the car ride. The next person that I want to talk about is Robert. Robert was supposed to be picking up Aaron, but because Robert was unable to get in contact with Aaron's family, Robert was like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So last week we saw Robert penning a letter to Aaron, letting him know, because I have not talked to your mom or anybody else from your family, I'm not going to be able to do this. So we see Aaron getting out of jail and everything, and he's basically homeless. Now, what he's going to do, in order to survive, or where he's going to live at, we don't even know. But he was like, I got to do what I got to do. He was very disappointed, but he said he wasn't mad at Aaron. He understood. But honey, when they went to Mr. Robert's house, I mean, he wasn't mad at Robert, but when they went to Robert's house, Robert said that he felt like he had failed Aaron and everything. And, he couldn't do it and he was tired. And so they was like, well, how do you feel like you failed him? He was like, are you kidding me? So Robert started going off, honey. Robert starts, saying that, this guy, he gave him dreams and wishes and promises, and he did not keep them. And that, this guy now, basically is left without any help or any hopes. And it's because of Robert. So Robert told them he tired, and he told them, get about my house. He put the whole crew out of his house because they asked him how, why he felt like he had failed him. And he didn't fail him, but he did fail him. Because the thing that I get confused about with Robert is that Robert knew from day A that the family was not supportive. The nurse probably wasn't even supportive of Robert doing this. This is probably something that Robert decided to do on his own, and the family wasn't really supporting him because they know what kind of person Aaron is. And so I think that is why they ended up ducking him. I don't know, but I really do believe that that's why they ducked Robert. Because they made mention of it. The nurse probably was talking to him, just out of stress and, whatever. not even thinking in a million years that he would take this responsibility on himself. And so they ducked his ass. They had already told him that, he couldn't come and live with them or any of the other family members. He had burned bridges and stuff like that. They probably was sick and tired of being sick and tired with his ass and just was like, no, we're not going, we don't want to be bothered. And you know what, Robert, if you're going to take him in and you're going to deal with him, we don't want to be bothered with your ass either. But Robert flicked out, lost his mind completely because he felt like he failed this boy. And so it's going to be very interesting on whether or not they continue to follow Aaron's story so that we can see, what happens to someone who is homeless. I'm very curious to know what happens. The next person that I want to talk about is Miss Arty and Javon. Now, last week we saw her, meet him at the jail with one of his homeboys or his cousin, and he came to the house, dropped his bags off. She asked him if he wanted something to eat, something to drink for them to sit down, and he said, no, I gotta go to my mom and them house. And so he immediately leaves out of there and he says he's coming back. Well, bitch, it's 2 days later and Miss Arty ain't seen him. She has not seen him nor heard from him in 2 days. So she is now at the house and she fit to be tired. She says that she has her eyes wide open, right? There's a part of me that believes that she does right, that she knows hustle and she knows game. But there's a part of me that's saying she a little naive about who this guy is. And I think that she has the best intentions. And at first I thought that she wanted a romantic relationship with him, but now I don't think so. I think that there is really something in her that really thought that she was helping out a friend of a friend. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all think. Because at first I was like, okay, Miss Arty feeling him, but I don't think that that's what it is anymore. I don't know. Miss Arty indicated when we first met her, right, y'all, she indicated that she had 3 sons. I'm wondering if she did not do right, maybe by her kids, and she thinks that this is something that is going to redeem her. That's what I'm starting to think. That she just didn't, maybe one of her sons has got lost somewhere, lost and turned out or whatever. And she just feels like, okay, this is how I'm going to redeem myself. But we all know that you can't, you can't redeem yourself through being kind to somebody else. But I don't think she has a thing for him. I think that she wants to mother him. But regardless, he disrespected her by not coming back to the house when he was supposed to come back to the house. And so, she's in the house and next thing you know, he's knocking on the door. This mofo didn't even stay there long enough to get a fucking key. So she come out and she was like, oh, look what the wind blew in. And he was like, what you mean by that? And she was like, I mean, you've been gone for 2 days. She was like, while your ass was in jail, me and you talked every day. And he was like, I mean, damn. I mean, I was with my family and them. And so she was like, okay, but when you was in jail, we talked every day. And he was like, I just got a cell phone yesterday. She said, you couldn't call me? You couldn't call me for 5 minutes out of 48 hours? Which is true. You talk to this woman every day, but then when you come out, you're around those mofos that don't care nothing about you. And like Miss Arty said, when you was locked up in jail, where was all of these mothers? Where were they? No, I mean, not calling the mother a mother, but I'm just saying it. Where was his mom and them and all of that? He can't go back to his mother. He sat there by his own admission and indicated that if he don't stay at Miss Arty's house, he gonna be homeless out this month. But still and yet, you go over there and you stay 2 days at somebody's house, on somebody's sofa, in somebody's guest room, or wherever the hell he was. You stay somewhere for 2 days up on her ass, and you don't have enough respect to call Miss Arty and tell Miss Arty what the hell you doing. You disrespectful as fuck. And then you gonna sit there, he gonna sit there and tell Miss Arty he didn't like her motherfucking attitude. My attitude? Where's your attitude for gratitude? Matter of fact, pack your little Happy Meal box possessions. He got possessions enough to go in a Happy Meal box, bitch. Put your stuff in that box with them two little them two arches. Slip your motherfucking finger through it and get to walking about this. Slip your finger through them two little holes. Throw that daggone Happy Meal box on the back of your back, bitch, with your dirty ass drawers or whatever you got, whatever you possess, and get the fuck about my house since you don't like my attitude. And she told him straight up, I think that you about some bullshit. All of this stuff that you doing is some bull. You said that you was going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm giving you an opportunity to do all the things that you said that you were going to do while you was in prison. I'm giving you that opportunity, and you coming up in here with some I'm grown, and I get to do what I want to do? Oh, hell no. But she was gracious. She said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I ain't sleeping. He think I'm sleeping on his... I'm not sleeping. So she comes into the house and everything, and he talking about, well, I'm going to go up to my bedroom for about an hour because I got to chill out and get myself together. Well, when you go up there, leave the door open. And I'm going to go ahead on and play some 80 hits and some... I'm going to blast my music, because what you not going to do around here is get no rest or no peace until you act like you got some sense around it. Yeah, you ain't sleeping up around here. You ain't get no peace up in this. Good. Oh, no, you're not. So he comes down because he smell of chicken grease. Because she down there cooking macaroni cheese, string beans, fried chicken, rolls, cornbread, little sweet potato pie. She cooking the most. Because I think that she has a need to take care and mother people. And he all in the kitchen. She told me, yeah, I did everything but kill this chicken. I said, okay. So she in there frying the chicken. He, walking back and forth and everything. Like he her man. Bitch. So he takes his plate. She finishes up the food. He takes his plate. They sit down and everything to eat. And the son comes in. Her son comes into the house and he sits down and he tell him straight up, I'm in here, I'm here because I'm going to make sure you don't do wrong by my mother. It's a little too late, son, because he done already disrespected your mother. But, I guess they letting that pass, but he letting him know I am watching out for my mother. And I want to make sure that you don't disrespect your mother. And then Javon gonna have the nerve to say, as long as she don't disrespect me, if she give me my respect, I give her respect. Bitch, you in my house. Like he has a whole lot of nerve. Is it just me? Is it me, or is he coming up in there acting like he paid rent in that? Like he just paid the water bill, the light bill, and the gas bill. Bitch, you just coming back into the house after you've been gone for 2 days and you gonna talk about respect? I don't owe you no daggone respect because you just violated rule number 1. Bring your ass home or call. Why they want to get connected to these people? These people from their past is why they don't get reformed. Because I thought that one of the main rules of being reformed when you come out, of a returning citizen, when you come out, is don't go around the same places that fucked you up the first time. He sat there and told a whole lot anyway, because when we first heard his story, he said that all 4 of his charges were drug related. But he did armed robbery, but he never mentioned drugs. 3 of his charges were drug related and drug trafficking and stuff. But then he had an armed robbery. So, bitch, you don't even remember what you got locked up for, you lying ass out. And so when the son was talking to him, he asked him, do you want me here with your mother? How you feel? He was like, I don't feel good about it at all. And I want you to respect my mother. And then Javon gonna have the nerve to come out, pop up off his lips and say to him, I ain't walking around here on eggshell. Bitch, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Extra large eggs at that. Mother, you up in my camp. He is already disrespecting this woman. And she keeps saying, I got my eyes open. I got my eyes on him. Okay. Maybe you got your eyes on him and you trying to collect a check. Because Miss Arty, I don't see another reason why you messing with this no good, low down, entitled mother. I'm with my mom and them. Well, go stay with your mom and them. And even when he thought that he had messed up, he never said, I can go stay with my mom and them. But bitch, you gonna go 2 days and stay with them. I just ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it with these raggedy. The next one I want to talk about is Dr. Henry and DQ. Dr. Henry is strange. He is just strange. Last week we saw him sitting in the cafe with DQ and the crew. He really believes that he can help DQ. But DQ and his brother made it very clear last week, you're white, we're black. You have not experienced the things that we have experienced. This ain't book, because the street ain't never buy a book. Never. So this mofo is sitting in the cafe. They're telling him, you don't know what it is to not even eat or to be moved from foster home to foster home. DQ said he want to get him a job. He want to run women and he want to do things his way, bitch. So this week we see him taking DQ and his brother to the house. Now, mind you, when we met this in the first episode, we met Henry, Dr. Henry. He indicated that his mom and them was hoarders. He said his mama was a big ass hoarder. His father was a middle ass hoarder. And his brother is a little ass hoarder. But he don't have no hoarding problems. Bitch, when we saw that house, we knew he was a hoarder. But he is in denial about this shit. Mr. Henry is in so much denial about this. Y'all, I can scream. I'm trying to be calmer than I am trying to hold my mule up in the. I'm coming up on a rough side of the mountain with this bitch right here. Do y'all hear me? I want to scream to the top of my lungs. This bitch said the reason why his house got stacked up to the wall, room after room after room, including the bathroom, is because when he was making money, he had a cleaning service. And that the cleaning service had to be cut off. And since he had the cleaning service cut off. It's dirty than a fucker in there. Bitch, how do you make up a lie like that? You have got to be delusional than a monk if you believe that, Dr. Henry, in my opinion. Bitch, your house. He said, I'm working on it. Yo, I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. This mofo's house looks like an abandoned warehouse or library. He got everywhere. And he gonna blame this on the lack of a cleaning service? I was so offended. Bitch, I was offended and I had no right to be because I ain't walked in it, I haven't smelled it, and I damn sure wouldn't doubt it. And like, when you're looking at it on the screen, bitch, you could imagine just how it probably just smelled like cat pee up in that. Just cat pee and mouse poo and rat poo. And he gonna bring Daquan in there. Daquan and his brother came up in that motherfucker and was like, what the fuck? Daquan said, him, the hoarder. I ain't know he was a hoarder like that. He said he used to come to the clinic when I was working with him with ketchup and mustard and soy sauce and ranch dressing and pepperoni and piece of sauce, sauce on his ass. But I didn't know that was because the mother was a hoarder. He said he used to come up in his little rank and his shit wouldn't be ironed and his pants was droopy in the month and he was just dirty and just kind of smelling it. But I didn't know it was a hoarder. When they went up in there, they was in complete and total shock. They was stepping over. He said, I got one room in the house that's clean and that's the one you gonna stay in. And then he said, who room is this? Daquan said, bitch, you got a whole note right here. You got a whole note right here that say, Daquan, this your room and your and if you want the stuff that's in here, you more than welcome to have it. Daquan started pulling that stuff out there. I smell mold, mildew, like bitch. Oh. Can you imagine the ammonia smell on that? It probably was so much ammonia and stink up in there that you could take it and use it as a Lysol wipe, bitch. Just ammonia just coming out, just bleach, just. I know he got little corners in that he is straight growing penicillin in that bitch. Like, I know they could go up in there and just swipe that and just, bitch. Daquan was shocked. Let me bring myself back. Keep forgetting I got a touch screen. Daquan was shocked. His cousin was shocked. They was like, we gotta get the fuck up out of here. So he said, I'm going out. I'm going with my boys and I'm gonna hang out. Needless to say, he said, Daquan, look, I got an interview hooked up for you tomorrow. 1 o'clock, 1:30, you need to have your ass back. Daquan said, I'll be back probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock, but I'll be there for the interview. Because Daquan been talking about all he wanted is a job and he wanted to get his life together and he wanted to do his own thing. So they he like, all right, Daquan, is it going to be all right for you to stay where you staying at? He was like, yeah, it's going to be all right. All I got to do is confirm with my PO. First of all, bitch, you couldn't even use FaceTime on your phone. You couldn't even use the FaceTime on your phone. That was just a fucking few minutes ago when you was out there with lashes. And so now you going with your friend and you going to be cool. All right, then. So, of course, as we suspected, here it is almost time for the interview and Daquan ass ain't home. He done spent the night out too. He said he decided not to live with his family because he want to be in the bullshit and he wanted to do something different. But you going back to the same place that you said, bitch, when they are in jail, they don't have time to do nothing but act like they are in the Willy Wonka chocolate factory, bitch. You know that song when we go, in a world of pure imagination, come with me and you'll see what your future can be. Come with me and you'll see all this bullshit you gonna be talking. Bitch, they are in Willy Wonka's imaginary bull ass chocolate factory, except for all the chocolate up in is imaginable. It's your imagination. It ain't a thing up in that factory that you can pull back and eat, bitch. Everything that they thinking about is just a whole and total different. It's a lie. All of it. So he calls him on FaceTime over and over and over. If he answered the first time, he's not going to answer it the fifth time. So he called his cousin. Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Hey, Mr. Henry, what's going on? The two of them ain't bad. Oh, they not? Dude knew they wasn't bad because you know what he said? I'm on my way and I'm going to make sure they get there. He know exactly where they at. Fuck out of here. Last but not least, we dealing with Bill, Shauna, and Mark. Is it Mark or Mike? It's Mark. Bill is a disaster. He's a disaster. He's a serious asshole. Now, Shauna may be, she's 50-50. But he's an ass. He up in these people's house with no intention of playing by the rules. Zero, bitch. He has no intention on doing what they have asked him to do. He is braggadocious about the crimes that he committed in the past. He has a victim mentality because he feels like he shouldn't have got that much time for nonviolent crime. He's just an ass. He believes that Shauna likes him, and I think that Shauna does too. He said that he slept like a baby in the room. Good, you had a teddy bear and some unicorns and lights and all kinds of stuff, so you should have slept like a baby. Because it was a baby-ass room. They didn't respect him enough to put him in a decent room. And then they gave him all of these rules. They blew it up life-size, bitch. And then told him he couldn't have no company and no nasty going on. So now Bill gets up and say he can't wait for breakfast. This is his first breakfast being home. And bitch, they got rabbit food for him to eat. Now his fat ass, fat belly ass, fat head ass lied and said he's a vegetarian. Bitch, when she saw him, when she picked him up, I'm sure she gathered, we do not have a vegetarian here. We have a meat eater, bitch. Meat and potatoes and bread. He eating all kinds of starches and corn, just carbohydrates just coming out his name. They talked about his weight. They talked about him being a glutton. And this bitch is sitting there eating a strawberry and acting like it's the best thing since, I don't know, for him. He goes out driving. Now, I told you all last week what movie, I mean, the docus. It wasn't a docu-series. It was just a show that talks about his crimes. And as we all know, he was a high speed, he would get into these high speed chases. So I'm going to have to do a video for all of you all who don't have access to this stuff. I'm going to have to do a video about it. He's taking him out because he wants to go and get his driver's license. Mark is telling him, this is that, this is the reverse, this is the neutral, this is drive, this is park, here's the emergency blank, the wipers are here, the ignition is here, So he says he don't have to tell me that. I know all about that. So they switch seats. And now he's about to show his Irish. He puts the pedal to the metal in this man's truck and scares the whole out of him. He is in a parking lot busting 85 miles per hour, bitch. The truck is about to roll over. And Bill is doing it to fuck with him. Dude is riding in his own truck and telling Bill to slow down. He is holding on to the rail. He's a grown ass, over 6 feet man. And he's, oh, stop, no, break. Like he whiplashing, like Bill doing the most. He doing the most. When he would have stopped that car, I'd have knocked him upside his head. I giggled a little bit. But then when I thought about it, I was like, he's so damn disrespectful. He's so disrespectful. I couldn't imagine. I'd have bust him in the back of his. Bitch, you got me in the car and you got me feeling like I'm about to lose my life. And he was like, I told you to slow down. You're disrespectful. You don't. He almost had that holy, sanctified, righteous man cussing in that car. That's how scared he was. This bitch was getting jerked. Auntie, don't laugh. You said you was not going to laugh. You said you weren't going to laugh. You said that you was going to keep this all the way above. You said that you weren't going to laugh about this. But it was a little funny. Because he was scared and Bill was doing donuts in it around that parking lot. He told him to brake, and Bill hit the brake, bitch. It was sliding damn near into the building, bitch. And he did this to get at him. The next time we see him, he's with Shauna. And they're at a restaurant. No, he took him to go and get him a cell phone. He got a little Apple phone. Paid $75 for it. Looked like it was at the pawn shop. But the thing about it is, now he's talking about he gonna use his cell phone to talk to Mary. So we all saying, who the fuck is Mary? Well, Mary is a woman that Bill met 3 weeks ago. How convenient. That Bill would meet him a bitch named Mary. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call her that. That he said he's in love with. But he didn't say that to Mark. He said that to Shauna. He sits down at the table and they get to ordering. He orders a chicken sandwich with provolone, pepper jack, chicken, filet, and said, bitch, put some bacon on it. Shauna said, in her mind, what that meant was, this motherfucker done told me that he was a vegetarian. And now he's sitting his ass up in here, lying like a... She said, I thought that you said you was going to be working on your weight, you fat mother. He said, yeah, I am. I'm watching it, all right. She's like, he's about a lion. I can't trust nothing that Bill says. The waitress leaves the table. He said, oh, she cute. Shauna said, will we interpret that, that Shauna, when Shauna was like, what we heard in the background was, we saw her going in hunting for rabbits, bitch, with a big pot of boiling hot water. What we saw was her at nighttime creeping down those mountain stairs with a frying pan to bust him in his head when she heard him snoring. What we heard her saying with all of the nods and everything is cheating on me. He never told me about Mary. Oh, wow. So he has somebody else. And how dare this call another woman pretty? Shauna, he married to you. She's not another woman. She's a woman. And he should be able to compliment somebody, anybody, and everybody. Because he ain't your man, Shauna. Get it together. See, now that right there, let all of us know that she 50-50. Then because why would it bother you that he complimented, in your words, another woman? Like, when you go out with your man and your man be like, yeah, the waitress, wait a minute, how he gonna compliment another woman? But if he's just your boyfriend or, just your hangout boy, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, she is cute. If there's nothing going on and you're satisfied in your relationship with your husband, you wouldn't have ever said that, nor thought it. But as I always say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You was offended. Oh, yeah, you was offended. And then he told her about Mary. And she was like, who the fuck is Mary? Who the whole hell is Mary? Who is Mary, bitch? You didn't tell me that you had somebody you was dating by the name of Mary. Let me give you some advice. Don't do like I did, you dumb. Okay, take your time trying to find love, but you didn't tell me about Mary. So now I'm giving you the side eye because you done lost your whole mind if you think you're going to live up in my house and you have a woman. Bitch, Shauna what had me going. And Bill saw it. Bill saw her reaction. Isn't there a movie out called There's Something About Mary? Bitch. There's something about Shauna. Now, I'm conflicted and confused about where this woman really stands with Bill. I got a feeling, bitch, we gonna find out. Because Bill said now that he got his cell phone, he gonna be down in that basement having relations with Mary. Now, this gonna be that's gonna learn the technology. And he gonna have a whole full-fledged session with Mary. Okay. Anyway, y'all, this is the end of my review. I thank you all so much for being here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these couples. Who are you most concerned with? The inmate, bitch, or the roommate? Y'all, until we meet again, know that I love y'all and stay safe. Bye.